there is a disruptive innovation from Web3 to how we shape the whole finance. USDT as a payment tool, Ethereum as a decentralized fintech cloud, etc. Those type of innovation really inspire me. And so that is why, to a lot of people, they might see, okay, so all of a sudden you jump from Web 2 to Web 3. But to me, it's like, I jump from FinTech 1.0 to FinTech 2.0.
I'm giving away $100 from Abby Token because they want to care about the education of everyone. All you need to do is to follow TROE Show, make the best comment on the episode along with your Twitter account. Stay educated, follow TROE Show.
I feel like Mr. Boom. Yeah.
So guys, today we have a special guest. I know him from many years when he used to be in a place and he went to another place, but he's a very smart guy, a very, let's say, having the principles and looking in Web3 and stuff. But anyways, let's start. Bill, how are you?
Good. Yeah,
so
thank you
now,
for having me.
Thank you for coming, for sure. I know you're busy always. I want to ask you a question, Bill. Before we start, we want to know who is Bill. How did you grow? Where did you grow? What did you study? Before this Web3 part, so people understand and see this value came from what?
Sure, yeah. I grew up in a small town near Shanghai in China. Mm-hmm. And pretty much, my whole career is to invest across the Web 1, Web 2 to Web 3. Yeah, so I kick off my career as a venture capitalist in Hong Kong.
So you started as a VC already?
Yes, yeah.
As a Web 2 or Web 3 VC though?
Actually, it's like Web 1. Yeah, because, yeah, Web 1. Yeah.
Man, you're young. Don't make us make. How old are you now?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was born 1985, so I'm not that young anymore.
You're younger than me.
Yeah?
I'm 84.
Oh, 84. Okay, so you just turned to 40.
But see, you look young because I eat chicken feet. That's the recipe.
Yeah. Okay. Asian looks younger usually. Yeah. Cool. So I started my career actually as a venture capital investor during the Web 1 age, back to 2009, 2010. And, I was involved in quite a few investments of the, the portal, the search investments, for those type of very typical PC internet investments. And when getting to the age of the mobile internet, I joined the JD.com, which is the largest competitor of Alibaba in Asia.
In Asia,
yeah. And I was the head of global AI and fintech investments. Yeah. So that was the age I get into the Web 2 investments. And I bought my first Bitcoin as early as 2013, but just as a fintech player, I just want to have a skin in the game.
Yes.
But
to understand what's going, like you want to see, curious what's gonna happen or what is that? Yeah.
Yeah. But along the way, to be honest, I haven't made my commitment to join because 2017 there's an ICO. From my point of view, it's more like securitized by a lot of scammers, etc. Right? Until 2020, in general I just feel like the Web 2 growth is not that fast anymore. Like JD.com, Alibaba, and financial, etc. Most of the tech tycoon, their growth has been slow to as low as like 20%, 15%. Yeah, and by end of this year, I made my mind that I want to move on, get into a new industry. And, from my long-time observation, especially, during that year, 2020, a lot of financial institutions, they get involved in the adoption of the crypto, right? Visa, MasterCard, etc., you name it. And also, with the rally of the Bitcoin. So by end of the year 2020, I left JD.com and I joined, Binance to become CZ's right-hand man to manage the Binance Global investments and fundraising.
So you joined from there to, when you jumped to Web3, you went right away to Binance.
Yes, yeah.
And you were with CZ right away.
Yeah. But actually, to me, it is a journey, with a lot of dots to connect. Why? Because between 2015 to 2020, I was the global head of fintech investments for JD.com. Yeah. So I do observe the Web 2 fintech innovation like wallet, banking as a service, etc. But also I see there is a disruptive innovation from Web3 to how we reshape the whole finance. USDT as a payment tool, Ethereum as a decentralized fintech cloud, etc.
True.
Those type of innovation really inspire me. And so that is why, to a lot of people, they might see, okay, so all of a sudden you jump from Web 2 to Web 3. But to me, it's like, I jump from FinTech 1.0 to FinTech 2.0.
It's the same journey, just different playground.
Exactly. Yeah. That is also, part of the reason, when I spoke with CZ and he wanted me to be on board ASAP because, the whole strategic mapping I did by, strategic M&A, etc. for the FinTech 1.0 actually is totally, transferable to the FinTech 2.0.
That's amazing. What is your background though?
My bachelor degree was a chemical engineering.
Chemical
engineering. Yeah, but that is not a major I am interested. So I got my master degree in finance and also MBA degree from Canada.
You remind me. I mean, at least now you're pure Chinese because you went from chemical engineering, which is oil and gas and too much money, to Web3 as well, which is too much money. I mean, you're focused in where is the money at, studying or finance.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
because the chemical engineer, that's the way you're gonna go. We're gonna go with Schlumberger, all this. At
exactly.
The end. I know.
I mean, oil is the backbone of the industrial economy back to 20th century, right? True. But I guess the data, blockchain, AI is a backbone. The new digital oil for the global economy.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying you're smart. You went with the oil, the digital oil from physical oil, right?
Yes.
At least if you're gonna go physical and you're gonna work with Schlumberger, your color will be more dark now because they're gonna put you in the sun for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, actually, I have a bunch of alumni, who went to the Schlumberger.
Yeah.
In the offshore, to drill the oil.
Yeah. I have many of my friends as well because I'm also a computer engineer and some of them were a chemical engineer and now I look at them, they're all dark because of the sun, but of course they put you after 3 or 4 years to desk offices and then you become a supervisor.
Yes.
Now, your journey in Web3, you joined to Binance.
Yes.
What were you doing and how long, and then you shifted to one of the, in my kind of opinion, largest VCs in the MENA region, which is Cypher Capital.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this journey.
Yeah. Well, I joined Binance when I was in Beijing, actually. I managed all the Binance. I hired my team, Binance Labs, Binance M&A, etc. And everything is remote. And I didn't meet with CZ in person, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Until one day, the China regulation become a little bit, intense. Tough. And then, I became the last executive who left China and joined the journey to the Middle East. Yeah, so I came to Dubai by December 2021. Yeah, and after that, I still managed the Binance Global M&A, strategic investments, etc. I still remember, my first investments in Binance Labs is Layer 0. My last one was Step In.
Yeah. Step In.
Yeah. And but along the way, I came to know Bijan and my partners, they're in Phoenix and Cipher, and I began to understand, maybe for the next wave, to work along with Sovereign, also build up some Bitcoin reserve for the government, and try to be get into the mainstream. Also, with more autonomy in a new platform would be a better fit for me. So after 2 journey in Binance, and then I joined Phoenix and Cipher by middle of 2022.
So now that's you just shooted a lot of information in 1 second. MashaAllah, you're fast.
Sure.
So now you left Binance. You spent for how many years at Binance?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
That's long in exchanges. Web3, the turnover, people leave very fast.
It's longer than the average shelf life.
Exactly. That's that was what I'm saying the same. Yeah. And then you went to Cypher Capital, and you just shooted the name Bijan. Who's Bijan?
Yeah. Bijan is a legend, of a crypto community in Middle East. So he is the co-founder of the Phoenix, which now become
Phoenix Group.
Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah. So and also the founder of Cipher. So basically, I pretty much joined his team and his right hand man. So right now, I take a role as a chief investment officer for the Phoenix, which is a listed company on Abu Dhabi. But also
so Phoenix is already listed in Abu Dhabi market,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so there are quite a few, very interesting point and story about Phoenix. Pretty much Phoenix is probably one of the very few startup, back then, who helped the sovereign to build up their strategic Bitcoin reserve back to 2022.
That's true.
And that one really inspired me. And I feel like, those type of getting to the mainstream, get to enable the institution and the sovereign, will also sort of, self-reinforce our journey in the crypto, right? It's like, how Michael Saylor, who hustled the sovereign to buy the Bitcoin,
That's true.
which will boost the stock price of the MicroStrategy as a
100%.
return in the meantime. Yeah, so right now, I take role as a chief investment officer for Phoenix, but also the chairperson for Cipher. But pretty much, my job is only one, which is like, to engage in the community, do, deep dive research, take a contrarian view, and to, generate return for the whole group.
So just to simplify it for people or to the listeners, today, Phoenix is just a mining company?
Phoenix is a conglomerate who generate most of the profit right now from mining, but also like has a decent amount of the investment initiative as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is, for an example, investing in Cypher Capital as well.
Actually, Phoenix directly invests in the projects.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. Like Phoenix, has become probably the largest stakeholder of the Solana in this season.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so basically, like, we take a bold move as compared to a traditional mining company. If we take a reference of, let's say, Marathon, etc., their main exposure is Bitcoin. Yeah. But for us, like, we're a little bit different. Not only we do mining, but also we deploy the profit from the mining into the altcoin domain to back the funding teams from different community.
Okay. That's an alpha here. I never knew that actually Phoenix is actually doing its own also investment, and it's one of the biggest holders in Solana today.
Yeah.
So that's why now all the regions gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you have the other one, which is Cypher Capital. So tell us now, you joined Cypher Capital, and what is the valuation of Cypher Capital today?
Yeah.
How many projects Cypher Capital invests in? Are you still investing, or are you just waiting like other VCs now? They say, "Khalas, we invested now is the time to make money."
Yeah. So Cypher Capital, we start by 100 million dry powder, and we separate our allocation into venture and liquid venture investments and the self-mining. And right now we have like 120 portfolios. And I can share with you some, highlight. Let's say, for the TROE, which enabled by Telegram, we probably was the global first ever check underwriter as an institutional investor back to 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because when I left Binance, I also took a advisory role in the TROE Foundation as a board member before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that is one signature deal we did, and also like for TROE, we invest 5 million, and now it's sitting on roughly like 70 million market position. Yeah, and we were the first and the only Middle East investor for TROE. Yeah, and so I think basically we see ourselves as a global top-notch investor, but also with very strong regional expertise and connection, and that is why very often we can basically open the door and create a deal tailor-made for us, which also the founders are very happy.
Okay, now we go back to this point. You started or Cypher Capital started with almost 100 million.
Yes.
Today we did not enter to like the full bull market.
Yeah.
What is the 100 million equal today?
Yeah.
Because other VCs, I know them, they have maybe 500 million, but today you ask them, they say it's 70 million because they made a lot of mistakes and they are waiting for the bull market to happen so they can go back in revenue again.
Exactly.
What is now Cypher Capital? How is your investment portfolio looking today?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We don't disclose the whole NAV, but I can share with you, let's say,
some stories.
for our venture mandate, venture mandate, because we separate our allocation into different mandate, right? For venture mandate, it's pretty much around 5x. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is higher than most of the VC I have
trust
known
me,
in
yes.
the world.
So I know some of the VCs today, they're even minus 90.
Exactly. And to be honest, me personally and also Cipher, we invest in a bunch of, emerging VC as the LP as well, just to stay the connection with our GP partner. Yeah, but I mean, to be very frank, we are very confident that, for this vintage, I mean 2022 vintage, right? We probably definitely is, the 1%, the top 1% performer in the world. Why? Is because I think, you're the industry veteran, and I understand where you come from. Basically, for the vintage 2022, the VC suffered.
Yes.
Right? VC suffered for a lot of reasons. Basically, the retail, they don't buy in the VC coin. All the VC coin, there are three type of front runner. The market maker, the founders, and there's exchange. Yeah, we know that. And to some extent, in the end of the day, VC is doing the grants to the industry. They just invest and wait for their vesting and unlock. But maybe, when they wait for their unlock and vesting, actually the founding team has already retired.
That's true.
Right? Especially, if you invest in not only tier 1, but also tier 2 or tier 2.5 projects, it's very hard to, manage those type of, let's say, the reverse selection. Yeah,
that's true. Actually, you said something here I liked. I was shocked about the information at the same time. I've seen way smaller VCs than Cypher Capital in terms of the capital of stable coins or whatever to invest. They invested in like 600 projects. I'm like, how can you even follow 600 projects?
Yeah.
And here you're really a big group anyway, so you can go invest in 3,000 projects, but yet you told me only 100 and something. So it means you really select. Tell me about this. Why don't you just go like other VCs, pray and spray? They just shoot it everywhere and that's it. But here you're selective about your investment, and for them they see it. Oh, we invest in a lot, so we are managing our risk management, right? But here you're selective, and yet you made, as you said, 5x or etc. So what is your investment strategy?
Yeah. Well, I think, we have a philosophy about concentrate to get rich.
Okay.
Yeah, whether,
like Solana is a smart move. It's a big risk you take at some point, but it's a smart move today.
Yeah.
It shows that you did a good good decision.
Exactly. I think we have several, contrarian view as compared to a normal VC. One is we do believe about concentration. The second point would be we do believe, take a contrarian view. To have, to become an independent thinker. For the first point, that is why, in general, we have 120 portfolio. But from allocation perspective, I have to say, pretty much we concentrate our 50% of the, venture mandate into the heavy, into the heavy bet, Solana and TROE, etc. And those, do create a very decent amount of the return to us. Yeah, and that is why we can outperform most of the VC player in the industry. So that's one thing. The second thing would be the contrarian. Basically for this season, let's say our Solana cost. I'm not able to disclose the exact cost price, but it's significantly lower than all the Wall Street player. They get into Solana because all the Wall Street Western investors, they get into Solana through the FTX. Distress asset selling, right? Yeah, why? It's because, right after the FTX collapsed, and we took a contrarian view, we began to study the Solana, and we believe, this ecosystem and communities, they're going to rebound, and it is going to be a very golden opportunity for us to buy the dip. And then, in the end, we make the deal, and we also build up the strategic partnership with Solana. And today, not only financially, but also strategically, we are super happy about this bet.
Actually, you said a very, very important word here. Strategic.
Yeah.
Now we go a little bit back. We said we have 3 upfront. that they always try to upfront the project, which is market maker, the founder of the project, of course, when you want to buy the Lamborghini, and decentralized exchange. Correct? The only thing I don't agree with you, or we need to redefine it in my kind of opinion, venture capital and a strategic venture capital. You said a very good word here, strategic. You came with Solana also from the strategic, you want to support this ecosystem.
Yes.
The problem in the VCs, they just put money, they don't do anything, and they just sell from day one.
Yeah.
And that's what also upfronting the retailer, because you don't add value. I have no issue. If you come, for an example, let's say, if I have a name like Cypher Capital, just as a story, and I know these people add a value to the project. So I know that when they're gonna sell $1, they will bring a value of minimum $4 to $5. So the market will not be hurt. But there are 99% of the other VCs, they bring 0. So when they sell the $1, they dump the market with an equal of $1. And they don't bring, actually maybe even more, because they create a FUD with this movement, right? And unfortunate, the retailer doesn't understand that VCs are important, but VCs like you, or like the other quality ones, which is very few, but the majority are absolute garbage. They don't understand what is strategic. They don't understand the know-how. They don't even know how to read tokenomics. I've seen VCs. I made a test. I always like to do tests, right? I give them a shitty tokenomics. And they answered after 2 days, oh, it looks great. We just want to add the vesting. Dude, this is not tokenomics or token utility. You just went to a different result. But Cypher Capital, no. You choose small amount of projects, but yet you're sure to be with them in case. Like, this is a good question, actually. Cypher Capital, when usually they invest in project, what type of support beside money, or just pure money? What can, let's say today you supported, let's say invested in a project called X. What type of benefits this project can get beside, because you have experience, right?
Yeah.
You've seen a lot. And your team, maybe they trained as well to get some of your experience to help these projects to access things. So can Cypher Capital does do these strategic moves or not?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I do believe, the VC model in this industry doesn't work anymore. Why? It's because, raising capital from the private market is not that difficult for our industry.
True.
And, the capital you need in the private market is not as much as Web 2, right?
True.
Web 2 now is getting into the AI age. And we do see, for AI Web 2, they're raising capital like, 10 billion, 20 billion in the private market. Yeah. But for Web 3, because, the opportunity to securitize your, the assets in the very early stage to the global unified liquidity pool, which is, all the global Web3 investors. And to some extent, the VC domain is not that big. To some extent, because the demand is not that big, so then, the capital supply have to compete with each other in a very intensive way. Yeah, I think that's the first principle about why, VC is suffering right now. But for us, like, from the very day one, we see us as a capital with a solution. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is our solution? What is our edge? We are the entrepreneur. We are the builder from Middle East that happen to be an investor. We are not a, investor who are craving for the check size
True.
into a competitive deal. Yeah.
True.
So, what do we have? We are the first team who built the sovereign Bitcoin reserve in the world. And we are the first ever crypto public company in Middle East. Yeah. And also, we're the only one external joint venture partner with Tether, because Tether want to work along with us to set up the stable dirham. Yeah. And
you mean the regulations in the Middle East, you mean?
Yes.
From the compliance and all
Yeah,
this? Okay.
yeah. And also, basically for Cipher and we as a group, we can connect any regulator and we can open any door in Middle East. And also, we leverage Middle East is becoming a world-class hub of crypto.
True.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about the Web3 or AI, to be honest, the center is still in Silicon Valley. When we talk about the Web 2, on-demand economy, etc., maybe India, China, and US, they are both of them are very savvy. But I mean, for us, we do understand what is our advantage. We don't compete with A16Z in any fronts. Basically, have to compete with Sequoia
Yeah,
to
of course.
compete who is the top one in US. But for us, like we are the go-to person to Middle East, and for all the global founders, you have to have a participant on your cap table from Middle East. So that is
100%
how
true.
we, sort of rephrase our story. And today, I think it works very well. Let's say we invest in Solana, we become their strategic partner, and also we help them to bring to, Abu Dhabi. And the next year, we will see the break point in Abu Dhabi.
Actually, one of the things that you said here that I personally like, and I think I have things for you later on about it. I think one of the main strengths today, or let me say it this way, today many Web2 companies, they are suffering of, also the VCs stopped investing in early stage projects. Most of them, they want to see at least
Some traction.
Transactions, profit, because they also got screwed in the past and they lost a lot of money.
Yeah. So you're asking for the Web 2 or Web 3?
No. Your answer is right. I'm gonna come to you now.
Yes.
So they suffer from this and they're taking a longer time to move. Now, the beauty about Web3 to quality projects of Web2, that it escalates them to increase the valuation of the Web2 company by having, the free marketing from Web3, because now you're adding retailers to buy the token, so they're gonna be your own army to support the project or be ambassador of the project without you have to have this heavy investment capital in marketing and go pay them in social media, etc. Web3 solved a lot of this part. So that's why we call it 2.5 today, right?
Yeah.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the beauty things of Cypher Capital, they can be the go-to to 2.5 companies, because the Web3 and you already have the track record, not saying we can do, you already have it that you have companies already listed in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So the secret regulated sauce that you can put things in the right way, in the right papers to fill it, to make this 2.5 story more efficient than 99% of the Web 2.5 that who cannot actually move their company as a Web 2 company. Just forget about the Web 2 and they just make money from Web 3, and then people who invest in Web 2 sometimes they get screwed. But I think Cypher Capital can be the solution of this.
Exactly. I mean, for me as a chairperson in Cipher, I have went through the Web 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And in the end of the day, not me, personally, but also we as a group, we do see ourselves as a web native investor.
Mm-hmm.
In the end of the day, it's like, UFC, mixed martial art. You not only have to, if you only know boxing, if you only know jujitsu, you're putting yourself in a disadvantage. You have to know everything. Yeah. And today, what is crypto as a capital market? Crypto as a capital market is the global second largest capital market, larger than Hong Kong, London, or
Wow.
China, Shenzhen, anywhere.
Wow.
In Korea, crypto is the largest capital market because albeit it's trading more volume than the stock exchange in Korea.
Yes.
So what does that mean? Right now, only most of the Web3 founders, they go securitize themselves on crypto. But going forward, the global largest capital market, US, they only have, 8,000 tickets, 8,000 companies listed on NASDAQ and the New York Exchange. And with the regulation, liberalized in the next 4 years, I do see going forward, two trends is happening. Mm-hmm. One, maybe in next 4 years or in next 10 years, crypto will become the global largest capital market, surpass the US equity market.
Oh.
Second point, because of the regulator might, open the door for the security token, and not only, the Web3 native founder will securitize in, but also maybe another AI company or another general tech company, they should go to the crypto to IPO in the future. Because, for them, for all the founders, what is your angle to pick a IPO listing area? Pretty much you want to go to the largest liquidity pool, right? But going forward, today we only have 200 million retail users. They are trading crypto. True. Imagine, going forward, 5 billion global mobile internet users. They have the access. They have, the habit to trade crypto. So by then, crypto will surpass the US equity market to become the top one capital market. And then, not only Web 1, Web 2, even
everything
like,
gonna be just
everything.
one. We're gonna be web.
Exactly. It's gonna be another web. It's gonna be another capital web for every company.
It's just a mirror for, let's say yeah, I mean, I don't think it's easy to convert the 5 billion users.
Yes.
Because you still have like lack of accessibility, lack of even legality. Like some people don't even have like identities, right? In some countries, right? Even though they have access to the internet or small, even young age, you know, they're gonna be like new limits. Because I believe, in my kind of opinion, DeFi will be regulated very, very soon, and that's my vision. It's always gonna be like, if you want to create a wallet in DeFi world, you have to do KYC, and this KYC will not be shown to public, but it will be verified on chain that this wallet is KYC'd, and you cannot send. You can create under this wallet 1 billion wallets, no problem, under your own KYC, but you cannot send to an exchange or blah blah if you're not KYC'd, and you cannot receive if the receiver. And he will tell you like a message, by the way, this access is not KYC'd, who send you money, you accept under your own well. And of course, then you have everything on chain, on the blockchain, because then this is the only way, in my kind of opinion, will put the scams to 99% down.
Yeah.
Because everything gonna be tracked. Even if some people create different wallets now from not in an Apple store, just you can go from computer and download it. Yes, you're gonna have the biggest problem when you off and on ramp. And not everyone gonna will to take this, so it's gonna minimize it. Again, that's my view from 2 years now.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see it within the next 3 years max. Because if we don't do that, Web3 will be our only Wild West, and good VCs like you will always not find this, because now it's coming Wild West. It's just crazy, you know, bump fun. You just but you want to have at least some kind of barrier where you can protect the retailer to come.
Exactly. I do see, you know, there are several killer app use case in crypto. There are some failure, you know. We as OG, you know, we do see, as long as, you know, people want to get into the social fi or like gaming fi, most of them didn't succeed in the end, right?
True.
Having said that, like, you know, as long as the crypto enable to redo some, you know, finance style business, usually, you know, crypto did a very good job. Like in the USDT, they reduce the cash on payment. Binance is, you know, sort of a reduce the exchange, or let's say, you know, Pump.Fund is redo a Las Vegas, a casino, and Bitcoin reduce gold, and I do see, you know, there will be sort of like, you know, 2-step move forward and 1 step, you know, backward. I mean, 1 step backward, maybe because of the push of the regulation, etc. But to some extent, you know, it is enable the global population to understand and to be comfortable to use it because of the proper regulation. And but still, in the end of the day, you talk about, you know, the challenge to how to fulfill the gap about the right now 200 million and the future, you know, to achieve the 5 billion global mobile internet users. I do think, you know, the payment will be one of the killer app. I just, you know, met with several friends from Ant Financial, and you know, Ant Financial, they have like 1 billion daily active user. Pretty much every China mobile internet users, they are using Ant Financial as a wallet. Right? Okay. Even the homeless in China, they have a QR code because, you know, otherwise, you know, the payer cannot, you know, grant you. Having said that, their net profit is not as big as Tether. Tether this year is going to be 10 billion, I guess.
Why would that happen?
Why? I think because, you know, Ant Financial or PayPal or like, you know, Cash Wallet, Revolut, etc., they are like, you know, Web2 fintech innovation. Everything they build is like, I build a mobile app, I build very good UI, etc. But what is your backbone? What is your infrastructure? Your infrastructure is Swift. Your infrastructure is Visa. Your infrastructure is a legacy with more than 70 years old history legacy. And that is, you know, sort of, you know.
So basically the middleman.
Yes. They are sort of like, you know, an incremental innovation of the traditional finance system. Having said that, like, you know, Tether, what is Tether, USDT? It's like a payment tool, but without the app, because it can embed in any app. You can pay USDT by Binance, you can pay USDT, you know, by other app. Because it is enabled by a brand new global infrastructure, which is blockchain. So to some extent, I began to understand why Tether is generating more profit than Ant Financial. It is because, even it is a small innovation, but it is a disruptive enough. It's like 100x faster, cheaper than the Web 2 solution.
Of course, and I mean, when you said China, I always suffer back in the days when I go to China because you cannot pay. It's very hard for foreigner.
Yes.
If you don't have WeChat, we don't have like, I have WeChat now. I'm all with the Chinese. I'm sitting with them every day in WeChat.
Yeah.
Because I have it like 10 years, 15 years now.
Exactly. This is a very realistic headache. I mean, like in different jurisdiction, because of the SWIFT, because of the cross-border payment, there still are like in the walled garden. Within the garden, the domestics, they feel like super savvy, but across the garden, you feel the headache.
That's 100% true. Now, come back to the Cypher Capital. Are you guys still investing, or you made your investment and you say, okay, we're enough now and we're gonna wait for the bull market?
Yeah.
So
that's a great question. In general, we took a very contrarian view of the investments. When do we super active and aggressive into the deployment of the dry powder? Actually, that is 2022 and 2023. Yeah, because when everyone is sort of a panic, we pull the trigger. And now, to some extent, we are sort of on the edge about, defensive and offensive. Yeah.
You're picking now.
We're picking. Yeah, we be very selective because, crypto in the end of the day is a cyclical industry. And we anticipate, any trigger we pull today is going to be, go through the next cycle. And we want to invest in the top tier project who will be very serious and want to build across the bull market and the potential bear market.
That's nice. Now, for people to come, because at the end you're talking about people are building in Web3. And Web3, in my kind of opinion, is not just made for big people to make projects. It's also made all these big projects today were made from some people very poor at some point. They became now wealthy, strong, they made good things in Web3. How can people come to Cipher? What is at least, let's say, the 3 check marks that a project, if it doesn't have, he doesn't even waste your time, or he wastes his time. Things you really care about to see. Since you have enough experience coming from Binance Labs to Cypher Capital to now also Phoenix Groups that you also invest. So you had sucked enough information and to select faster than anyone else.
Yeah. Well, I think the first point would be long-term driven and be ethical. Yeah, because this industry, it's like a buffet of the liquidity to dump your token to the global retail user, right?
I mean, if he's in roadmap first thing Lamborghini, then he's not.
Yeah. So definitely, that one is our first checkbox.
Okay.
The second one would be to the point. Yeah. Sometimes I suffer even as an investor. I have invested more than 20 billion in my career since Web 1 to Web 2 to Web 3. But still, sometimes I spend 15 minutes sit there, but I still don't understand, what do you want to do? Yeah, sometimes, the founder is too tech-driven and forgot how to tell...
To make it business.
Yes, to make business, yeah.
The same as some, maybe, I don't want to say the names, some people who created wallets back in the past, they couldn't even know. They made a token and the token appreciation is down every day because that's the only way he pays his employees.
Yes.
He didn't know how to generate revenue for the wallet.
Yeah. And I think, the third point would be product-driven, not capital market-driven. Yeah. I think those would be the
main 3 points.
Yes.
So if you don't have these points, don't waste the time of Cipher, right?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, thank you for coming. It was really a pleasure. We had to delay this several times because the last month was busy.
Yeah.
We spent around 40 minutes. It went very fast.
Oh, wow.
Fast. I told you it was going to be a fun show because it's just organic. People want to know who's Bell.
Yes.
It's always nice to see because I don't want to say it, but I have to say it now. Web3 is like mafia. You don't know people, like some gangster who made money and now they become VCs or they become, so you don't know. In my show, I want to see the other side of Web3, which is very small. It's not big. People coming with experience. People studied. People went through life not just a 21 years old, yo, Bitcoin for to the moon. I don't want this. It's enough. It's 99% of the space. I want to show people like you.
Yes.
To come, be genuine, speak. That's why nothing is organic. You know, if you were one of these yo Bitcoin, they will not come to this show unless they have questions written only. This is the only way they come, because they don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know prepared question, because I know who I'm bringing.
Yeah.
I'm bringing a goat. He knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right? Bell.
Awesome. Thank you. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you very much. Shishia.
Yeah.
It's not just a room.
It's a room of Eljaboom.
Let's go.
Cheers.
Sterling ain't nothing plated. If we can support each other.